Hello everyone and welcome. We are here, we are live, we are ready to go, and we are back in Kerbin-sized real solar system. This is the mod that, basically it is the real solar system mod, but instead of Kerbin it is Earth. However, it is scaled down to Kerbin sizes. So I'm doing this with mostly stock parts, with a whole stack of other mods installed as well. And the main goal for today is going to be to crew the space station that I inserted last week. But for that, I do need to have a new orbiter, an orbiter capable of carrying more than just a single Kerbal, with a docking port and RCS and all that kind of stuff. But as you can see, we're not anywhere around with any of that kind of stuff right now. This is the Octo 3A. After the stream last week, there was one point where I was looking at the map here, and particularly I looked at this view here, and believe me, it was worse when I looked at it last week. There were so many probes, and I'm like, I got to go through here and clean these things up. So I went through and I looked at, you know, what can I just, are any of these, first of all, not doing anything anymore? And there's no more science for them to collect or anything like that. And some of them were like that. Can I deorbit those? And the answer to that question is yeah, some of them I had enough DV to deorbit them. So I did deorbit some vehicles as well. Some of them didn't have enough delta V to be able to deorbit. So what I did is I marked them as debris. So there are some here, like this guy here. This is the Octomite. Here's another one out here, the Octo 2, and I changed the name to being defunct and marked them as debris. So unless I actually put on the debris, here's another one out here, the Octo 7 defunct, then I don't have to worry about looking at them. But the rest of them, I sat there, and some of them I could actually do something with. So for instance here, this is the Octo 3A, as I was mentioning, and it has 2 science experiments aboard. It has the telemetry report that is 100% done, all in around Kerbin. There's nothing really for it to do. But there's this magnetometer report that, as you can see here, it's collected magnetometer science. A lot of it in high space has been collected, but there is still some magnetosphere science to collect in low space, as well as some solar storm science. So what I want to do is I want to move this to a more appropriate orbit for catching the magnetosphere. Now this magnetosphere, let me actually take out all the rest of these for now so we don't look at them. The magnetosphere is put in by the Kerbalism mod, and it is right here. So basically I want to stay in near space, but within this sphere, which doesn't seem to be, well, it's not really a sphere, is it? It's sort of a oblong shape, but that's really not the problem. But the problem is that if I put in the lower belt as well, when I'm in this lower belt, I am not in the magnetosphere. And as you can see, the probe is pretty much now living within the lower belt. So what I want to do is change the inclination. I've already set up the maneuver for it so that some of the orbit is up here out of the inner belt and into the magnetosphere, so it can begin to collect the rest of this 1.5 science. I thought that was something worthwhile. And I also have the Octo 1 probe. I've set up a maneuver for that, and we'll deal with that one next, and then we'll get into building an orbiter and get some Kerbals into my space station. So basically this is coming up in only 4 minutes, so why don't we take this out of the way. Now I will warn people that with one of the probes that I attempted to deorbit, the engine exploded. These are old probes. Some of them aren't doing so well. Actually, I can see here, I can up the thrust limiter. I might also do that. And so some of them, yeah, they might not work. We'll see what happens. So anyway, let's go and see. This is a big burn, 1,305 meters per second. It's a plane change, but there is over 2,000 meters per second left in this probe. It was severely overbuilt. Okay, what? Oh, that's just Kerbal alarm clock warning me that I'm 3 minutes away from the maneuver. And now we'll get to the meat of this. Okay, and I'm seeing you ought to rename them as to what they're doing. Yeah, I got a little bit better with that. Like I have one that was called the Mite Experiment. I have ones now called the Herd Experiment. So that is a good idea. I don't know. Maybe I should go through and rename them, but rather than Octo 1, Octo 2, Octo 3, Octo 4. Alright, so hopefully this engine will ignite and we'll be able to do this without too much difficulty. I can't hold the maneuver node, so no. We'll just have to wait. Okay. And the herd puns will begin. But the one thing I do find with Kerbalism is you get to a point where the science really starts to slow down as far as the rate at which science is coming in. And you really got to go out and you really got to look for it. Okay, let's start throttling up. I'm hoping it seems to be okay. It's doing it. It's doing it. I was worried about, yeah, there is some thrust imbalancing going on. I can see that. I don't have to be super precise with this burn. It's the magnetometer that's way out here, of course, is the problem. Maybe reduce throttle just a little bit. So it can hold on to that vector a little better. I'm sitting there like banging on, tapping the W key just to keep it where it's supposed to be. Is there gimbaling on this guy? Oh, there isn't. It's just the reaction wheels in the probe body. Okay. We're getting close to the end. It's all good. Okay, that seemed to be okay. What's our new orbit like? Yeah, I'm happy with that. So let's reorient this. So hopefully this will collect a little bit more science for us. A little bit more of an orientation change here. The entire orbit, if you look here, is still in near space, so that's good. Alright, so people are saying, I don't know. Should I rename it? This is now, where is it here? Command. Rename vessel. We'll rename this, sure. We'll keep it the 3A part, but this is the magnetometer. Not an imaginative name, I know, but there we go. Alright, let's get to the Octo 1. I honestly have forgotten now what the Octo 1's about. Because I set this all up after the stream last week, and I've just forgotten what it is that I'm doing. And I wrote a note to myself to start on the 3. Oh my god, look at this guy. So this guy is just 64 meters per second left in it. It is in... Oh. This might be... Stop it. There we go. Oh, this is a deorbit burn. This is a deorbit burn. That's all that's happening. I have to wait till I'm out to apoapsis so that I have enough. So the DVE isn't that much to dip the periapsis down in. So this is just... This is a defunct one. This guy is gonna go away. So let's reduce the thrust limiter on this. It says here I have 0 ignitions left, so this might get a little sketchy. We're gonna have to see what happens. We'll do a little F5ing. We'll time warp to this. We'll see how this goes. This may or may not succeed. So this is clearly one of the first satellites I ever put up, considering that it's named the Octo 1. Alright. Again, Kerbal alarm clock is just warning me of the 3-minute warning. And we can get rid of Kerbal alarm clock now. Now, one of the mods I got rid of that I've had since the beginning, but I was starting to just find it way too annoying is, and I have trouble saying it, semi-saturable reaction wheels. I've gotten rid of that mod. It is now gone. I thought the idea was kind of neat, but it's just started getting on my nerves about worrying about things like gimbal lock and stuff like that, and I finally just went, you know what, there's enough things for me to think about. I don't want to worry about that. Okay, now it's very possible that this engine may fail. Okay. Do you know of a mod to give procedural avionics to our real solar system in Realism Overhaul? Well, if you install I can't remember exactly what the mod is. Sorry, I am going to have to do this burn. But if you install the express install for Realism Overhaul, you get procedural parts, including procedural avionics parts, if that's what you're talking about. Okay, engine ignited. I believe my periapsis is now a negative, so this guy is going to fall to its demise. Okay, that's cool. All right, let's get ourselves back to the Space Center. So that sort of maintenance work is now done. And let's start thinking crewing the space station. Engine failures are on. But just because it says 0 ignitions, that doesn't mean you have literally 0 ignitions. It's a probability thing. There's an RNG thing that goes on, and as the number of ignitions go down, the probability of a failure goes up. You can fail on your very first time lighting an engine. So it isn't about it gets to 0 and then it fails. It's the probability goes up. And the 0 is just on average now. When it's at 0, I think of it as you got a 50-50 chance of it failing. And then it keeps going down like that. But the idea of that is it's meant to be like a real engine. In real rockets, you don't know when an engine's going to fail. Right? It's not like there's a countdown ticker sitting there going, you're going to fail in exactly 1 minute and 30 seconds. Oh, I know why it's doing that. All these unknown part modules. Okay, let's just take a look at Space Station 1. We're going to ignore that. It has to do with the semi-saturable stuff, but I got a feeling as soon as I bring this up and save it again, I bet you now it's not an issue. Oh, maybe. Oh, well, whatever. Okay, so this is the rocket that brought up the space station, and the space station's actually this top part. So what I'm going to do is I like to actually keep my space stations. This should come off too. That's the actual space station. I like to keep my space stations in the space plane hangar. And that way, it's just, why are you, there we go, that's what I want. You have a lot of kind of lateral movement to kind of, if I need to add more modules to this or something like that, oh my gosh, come back, there we go. I can do that. Now just to sort of show you where we're at with the space station, it's got some storage stuff in here. I like those little storage doors, I think they're cool. And it's got extendable, these antennas. Really, that's about the end of it. So what I want to do is I want to build an orbiter onto this guy. And do I have contracts? I don't even know if I do, if I have contracts associated with this. Oh, I do, yes. Put a Kerbal in orbit for 30 days and a first docking. So both of those are pretty straight up. So let's just add an orbiter to this, and then we'll take our orbiter down. But I like having it here. I'm going to save it here, so that if I have another module I add on, I can build that module here. I just find it works well. Okay, so I only have the Clampetron Juniors and the... Boop, boop, boop. I do have the... It's the P, isn't it? Yes, that's the one that's... Suddenly realizing, why am I doing this? Yeah, why am I doing this? Okay, let's save this. Let's make this the root part. Save it. Get rid of this. Let's pop back. I don't know why, but at least now that's there. Okay, this is what am I gonna call this guy? Is this the P? The P. So this is the P1. And P1's gonna be just a little orbiter. There we go. Let's put it up here. Okay, no more fussing about it. Alright, what I want to do, it's going to hold 2 Kerbals. Are there 2 Kerbals in there right now? There are. I don't know if those are the 2 that are going to fly it, but... Alright, and we're going to put on... I have... Oh, that's the small one. I'm going to put on... That's the 1.25 meter one. Yep, okay. And we're going to put on the interstage nodes. Okay, let's get rid of the checklist for now. That's just in the way. Okay, and then we're going to put this down. And this is just to give me, I'm not going to build the fairing just yet, or maybe I won't. I don't know. Probably I will. But I want to build just sort of a... Make it, I don't think it needs to be as big as that. Just a little area to stow stuff in here. That's it. And inside there is going to go a probe core. I'm going to go with the hex. People are getting confused. Oh, I definitely need to make this bigger. People are getting confused with if I put in the hex or if I put in the octo. They actually are functionally the same in the Kiwi tech mod, which a lot of people find a little bit confusing, and I kind of can't understand why it's a little bit confusing. Let's actually stick it. Oh, there. And let's take the interstage nodes off. But it has to do with the upgrades and how they work. So all the probe bodies are functionally the same. It's just what you kind of want to deal with. Let's put some photovoltaic cells around here. For solar generation, I'm hoping that's going to be okay. Maybe a little bit of... What do I got for batteries? Actually, I got structural parts. Let's build a little core of these. Oh, you're not going to let me just put one... There, that's what I want. Just like that. And then we'll put on... Or some good batteries. Because I got these Z400s now. Not that just... Well, that might be a little much. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go over here and we'll configure this. So, where's the configure the capsule business? We're going to turn the quality of the life support up to high. And there's the configure the pod. Oh my goodness. Okay. And we'll see if we're good with what's in here or even what's available. I'm looking at science too. I don't think there's more science than just the crew report you can do. No. Okay. So the scrubber obviously is what takes out carbon dioxide, and you don't want to mess with that. You can store the way it takes. Wait a minute. Yeah, it consumes a bit of electricity, but you don't want to mess with that. Always keep it on. Then there's a monoprop fuel cell, and that's it. So we'll keep the monoprop fuel cell. So the monoprop fuel cell takes monopropellant, and that's it. And and oxygen. So we'll put on some extra oxygen, but that'll be there for just emergency purposes. That's all that's going to be. So if I take a look over here at electricity, if I'm in the dark, it'll last for 40 minutes. Okay, even already, I don't think I need too much in batteries then. Let's just put on some of these Z100s. And we'll put the energy densities at 100%. And electricity is perpetual. I think that's good. I'm not going to put any science or anything on this. So there we go. Okay. Oh, congratulations on your first Apollo-style lunar mission. Good on you. We are going to put some RCS, so I'm going to tuck a little bit of monopropellant in here, and I think, yeah, I definitely want these smallest ones. I don't know where these are going to end up for a final spot. I'm just kind of slapping them on for now. But 2 will be more than enough. There is no monopropellant in these capsules. All right, let's think about propulsion. So for propulsion, let me think. I want this to have probably do the top part of the orbital insertion, which is I usually budget about 1,000 to finish off the orbital insertion, but I want it to be able to do a little bit more than that. So what if I do that, and I think I now have unlocked the little pug engine. That guy, I love the little pug engine under here. And that's 600. Oh, that's an Atmo. Oh, that's 1440 with thrust to weight of 0.7. That's going to be fine just like that. I don't think this is going to be too complicated of a build. Kind of looking at this now going, I don't know. I'm thinking this is maybe about it. Maybe. I'm going to go with the, see if I can get a little bit more room under here with these instead of the cubic octagonal, or instead of the octagonal strut, the cubic octagonal strut. Are you gonna let me get in here? Yeah, that's what I want. I am really making a hash of this. There we go. A little more room to hide stuff and maybe get some lights in there too. That's all I wanted. This can go away. I think that looks all right. I don't know, am I missing anything? Let's go down my checklist. So for a crewed spacecraft, oh, a KOS processor. There we go, I do want that. And picking a boot file, it'll be the load software boot. A flight program, I can just run the basic orbit one, so that's good. I put the boot file in. There's no science to configure. Don't worry about the experiments. Therefore, data storage doesn't matter. Samples doesn't matter. Oh, a little bit of communication might not be a bad idea, even though I don't need it. I do have the Communitron 8. Why don't I put in like one of those? Just find a spot to sort of stick it in here. I really don't need it because once you're in near orbit about Kerbin, the antennas that are in the core are in the capsule and in the probe body are fine, but I'll put that in there. Electrical storage I think is fine. Again, how long am I going to be? It'll run for an hour and 30 minutes in the dark, or it shouldn't be in the dark for that long. Electrical generation, if I put this on here, it's more than 4 times what's actually being asked for. Attitude can, oh, I do need some reaction wheels because there are no reaction wheels in there. So attitude control. I think the small ones will be fine. I just gotta find a spot to stick them. Okay. So let's take these out. Let's take this off. Let's stick them right under here. And then put this back. And then see if we can put these back. 4. Sure. B. There we go. Okay, attitude control in place. Food and water. So we got 5 days of food, 5 days of water, 5 days of oxygen. I think I'm gonna live with that. I think that should be fine. Radiation protection is not necessary because we aren't going to be above the radiation belts with this thing, so, and there's no shielding, so that's fine. Some sort of an abort system, yep, I'll get to that, but I'm gonna leave that unchecked for now. Upgrades, I upgraded the life support. I'm also going to upgrade this little engine. There should be an upgrade button. Yeah, change the upgrade on that. Okay. And redundancy. I'm not sure where we are at for redundancy. It's down here somewhere, isn't it? Reliability? No. I thought there was something that talked about redundancy. There it is. Reliability, it says, okay, I have redundant power generation, not redundant life support. But then again, we're all going to be just in low orbit. When we're at a station, there'll be more life support on the station. It says I don't have redundant communications, but I do because the communications I put on isn't even necessary. I think it's okay. I think we're okay for that. Lights. Lights. Okay, let's see here. Still don't have a lot of good lights, which kind of annoy me. I might put just a couple of spots just up here. Just like, I don't know, you're coming into your docking port just to kind of light it up. There's some pitch control on here. Sure. Okay, and maybe some lights down here to kind of light up this little bay area. Like that. And just don't have good lights. I wish I had the little nav lights, I just don't have them. Textures and painting, I don't know if there's much I can do. Make that orange. I do have the simple repaint, but I think I'm going to leave it alone. What about here? Kind of good with what I had. That's good. TWR is fine. 0.72 is fine. I can live with that. Staging, really not much to it. Okay, let's think about an abort system for this. Do I need to worry about pressurization? That's a good question. I don't have any nitrogen aboard. You mean after we do EVAs and stuff? Ooh, I didn't think about that. I don't think I thought about that. It's been so long since I played with Kerbalism. At least with Kerbals. How many EVAs? I thought they got rid of that. Worrying about nitrogen to repressurize? It's not pressurized. Why is that? Being forced inside a suit all the time greatly reduces the crew's quality of life. Okay, but that's not on the state. Okay, let me get back to that. So this is not a pressurized capsule. Okay, I'm not quite sure how the nitrogen, how that works. I don't think this is a pressurized capsule, so I don't think pressurizations is a thing. I think they just have to live in their suits, which is interesting. I don't know if it's like that on the station either. I'll have to go back and check. Okay, let's build some sort of an abort system for this. That's what I want to do. So I do have the launch escape system here, and it's kind of big, isn't it? And then maybe build the fairing. I'm just trying to see if I can build something that looks okay. If I build the... And we gotta put on some parachutes, for goodness sakes. I guess I only have this life support. I guess I just have these guys to stick on somewhere. Oh, I hate these. These are so ugly. Oh dear. Okay, let's delete the fairing for a sec. Where'd you go? Like inside there. It's making it. There it is. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Oh, I hate those. But I think they are what they are. Gotta make sure not to cover the hatch part. Just like that. All right, let's check this out. So when I stage that, I want to arm the parachutes. Fairings are going to be a different thing. That's in a different thing. It goes up here. Okay. Okay, let's try and build this fairing. Yeah, I know. I will check if the station is pressurized. I honestly don't know. Actually, I know how I can check, but one thing at a time. Okay, I'm gonna come in like that and like that. They may live in an unpressurized station for now because I'm not gonna wait till I have the hitchhikers. Because I'm just mean to Kerbals like that. Come on, give me the clothes. There we go. Is this pressurized? No, I don't think this is. This is what the station's built out of, these things, and I don't think these are pressurized. There's a scrubber, and that is it. There's no pressurization. So I think they gotta live in a non-pressurized environment. Let's just check over here. Pressurization is a no. Even if I take a Kerbal and move them down to that. Nope, not pressurized. So they're going to just live for 30 days in their spacesuits. This is going to be a roughing it space station. Hopefully they'll be okay. So nope. Nope, they won't be pressurized even when they're in the state. Okay, so there's what we got. Let's set up an abort action group. So on the abort action group, we're going to deploy this fairing. We're going to decouple this fella. And we're going to activate this, which I got a feeling is actually going to have a ton of thrust on it. Let's see how that works. So save this. We're going to do a simulation. We're just going to try the abort on the pad. Can you even live in a spacesuit for 30 days? Yeah, probably not. But it's so long until I'm going to get the hitchhiker can. Again, the Kiwi tech tree is kind of weird. So I'm going to live with it. We're just going to go for it. Yeah, we're going to find out, Nathan. There probably is a mechanic for them being stuck in, but we'll monitor them and see how they do. And if it goes really bad, I mean, you know, it's not very long for them to get back down to the surface. Okay, let's okay, we do that. So we're going to just hit the abort key and see what happens. There we go. See, that worked. I like my lights. I left them on. That worked. Okay, so abort works. Terminate simulation. Back into the vehicle assembly. And I noticed those lights were still on, so let's put the lights off. Okay. All right, what we need to do now is we need to get this thing into space. So, for that, let's also clamshell deploy this guy. Jump up that ejection force. And actually, what I also should... No, it seemed like it detached okay. I'll leave everything else alone. I know what I'll do. Let's put this into the staging. Because I'm thinking during a normal flight, I'm going to want to stage that at the same time as the fairing. I might... We'll put this to the test in a little bit. Okay. Decoupler. TD-12 decoupler. I do have one, right? There it is. And let's put on the advanced inline reaction wheels. And I think I now have... Yep, I have these guys. So total delta V... I don't know. Maybe if I made it about... another, yeah, let's push up to about 4,000 just to sort of give something that, you know, if there's all of a sudden a Kerbal that needs to be rescued or something like that, what's left over they'll be able to do that with. So that's nowhere near, and not enough anywhere near the thrust away. Is that that's the swivel? Oh, what if I put the Kodiak on that? That's a lot. So let's put a couple more of these this way. 33. We're going to put some boosters on this. I'm looking at this TWR. Just 1.72 is probably okay. Okay, I would like to get about another 1,000 onto this. Let's get these bigger ones. Some swivel engines on those. Yeah, swivels. Okay, and we're gonna probably do a little bit of asparagus staging. I think I got, yep, I got those. So we'll do that. Okay. That's like the kind of DV I'm talking about. This should work out, I think, pretty good. Put some nose cones on the top of this. How do I have any? Still only have the boring nose cones. Okay, fine. Boring nose cones it is. Some struts. There you go. That's getting pretty close, I think, to what I'm thinking about. Just gotta clean some things up. I've already removed, Alex, the semi-saturable, I can't say it, semi-saturable reaction wheels is gone. It is, I no longer have that installed. Okay, I do have to adjust the launch thrust to weight ratio because this is clearly through the roof. There we go. And we'll up the quality of these engines. This is a human-rated vessel. So we're gonna put everything on high. That looks pretty good, I think. Everything appears behind there. Stop it. There we go. Let's go black all the way up. Go somewhere else. You're in the way. I don't know if this can be changed. Oh, it can. Oh, what? What's that variant? How did that change? Why did that just sank on me when I did that? Variant docking port variant. What is? Okay, sorry. I gotta figure this out. There's a variant called docking port. What does that mean? I don't know. I guess I'll put it back to what it was. Okay, so I'm thinking this might be getting pretty close. Get some launch clamps on here. Check the staging. So that's that. That will stage the same as that. Oh, we'll put some smart parts on it. Drain X part right here. I lost it. Where'd it go? I just dropped it. Oh, frick. Okay, I don't know where it went. And then another one up here. Oh, I see it. Go away, you. Okay, we've done the abort system. It's just, and the staging I'm checking on. So let's just get rid of this checklist. You're in the way. That one, okay. I also want to, on action group 5, we'll do the staging of all of this nonsense. So we're gonna put action group 5, we're gonna toggle this engine. We're also going to decouple it. We're going to stage deploy the fairing. I guess that's about it. And then let's take this out of the staging completely. Oh, we also got to undock that. Yeah. That out of the staging. I think that's good. Yeah, I'm kind of... Perhaps the docking port allows it to latch to a docking port. I don't know. I'm kind of curious. Maybe what I should do is save this the way it is. So I think, oh, maybe a little more thrust here on the bottom. Because I am very curious about this docking port mode. Like, if that's something... like this. Okay, save this. Let's just go new temporarily. What I'm going to do is get that P, get this guy, stick this on the top, and put this into docking port mode. What does that mean? Okay, let's simulate this. Let's see what happens when we activate it. Don't click undock on the launch escape tower. It breaks your camera. I'm not sure. I've undocked stuff all the time. Never had any issue with that. Like just undocking through an action group. That's the basic way I've set it up. Like in, I don't know how many times I've done it. Never had any issues with the camera. Okay, let's see what this does. I'm very confused by this. So, what happens if I decouple this? Of course, oh, there it goes. It falls off. I don't understand. I don't understand what docking port mode does. Restart the simulation. I'm very confused. Are there any... There's an activate engines. You know what? Forget it. I don't understand it. Maybe it's... Let's terminate this. Go back to here. Let's go test fly the thing. It hides the docking port if you put it on top of one, says Michael. Okay. So that's all it does. Is it just... It's simply moving it so that you don't see the docking port below it. So it's a little cleaner. Okay. That makes some sense. Okay, I'm gonna just open up. I don't care. I'm covering that all with a fairing anyway. No, I don't want to save this. I want to get my old MNOP one. There it is. Load. All right, we're gonna give this a test. Kerbal's Award. Kerbal's Award. We're gonna run ourselves a simulation. See how this does. Well, I built what I built. I kind of had a plan on what I was going to build, so I'm going to build what I built. I put docking ports all over the place in all other kinds of situations. And I have done that with the docking port on the bottom and engines on the side. But I got what I got. I like it. I've actually done exactly that when I built sort of more of a Dream Chaser style space plane, where I put the docking port at the back and the engines on the side. It worked really well. Okay, let's run this thing. So run orbit. We're gonna go on a 90-degree heading. We'll go for an 80,000 meter orbit, and we'll see how this does. Well, I do have a docking port at the front of the ship with my launch escape system, so that part of it's gonna, I think, is working fine. Well, we'll find out, I suppose. Maybe it's not working fine. What navigation? I like the little stock navigation lights. I really like them. I just haven't unlocked them yet. So those are the navigation lights I would use, especially on a space plane. I like the sort of red and green blinkers and the white lights on the tail and all that kind of stuff. let's see how this guy does. So far, so good. Oh, I put no tail fins on the bottom here. I'm a little surprised this hasn't flipped out, but it seems to be doing fine, so maybe I should just kind of like it. Leave it the way it is, but right now it does have reaction wheels here, but there's no gimbaling in these. But with the fairing at the top, I'm a little surprised I'm not having any kind of stability issues. So far, so good. Okay, and reducing our throttle here. You think the aerodynamics on this is quite clean? I was worried about the fairing at the top being draggy. You can't. We're too high in the atmosphere now to be worrying about stuff. So, but apparently not. Okay, so at, if I remember correctly, 50 kilometers, I believe the KOS script will jettison our escape tower and this fairing and all that stuff, so hopefully that will go well. If you're asking about mods there, Space Dinos, they are listed down in the description. There is quite the raft of them. The one thing I don't typically do is install a lot of part mods. The only real main part mod I got going is Restock, and I did put on, oh, that worked all right. I did put on Airplane Plus. My meteor lights. Okay, that all came out okay. So see, there's my docking port at the top. So that worked fine with the launch escape system the way it was. I didn't see a problem. Yeah, near future. I agree. I find myself not getting late into games lately, so I don't really take advantage of the near future stuff. But near future is cool. I do agree with that. Okay, we're going to be off of that and onto our little pug engine now. Almost at our target apoapsis. Okay. Let's go see if my script, I don't know why, but it seems to really struggle with doing these burns. But only at circularization, and I don't know why. I've yet to puzzle that out. Let's see if the script can finish this off. So a 200 meter per second burn to finish this guy off, and then we still will have 347 or almost 350 meters per second left. See, look how late it's doing the burn. That's the part I don't like. There it goes. I guess the test will be how close is this to a circle. Did I put RCS on this thing? I certainly did not. Thank you, John. I forgot entirely. I put the monoprop aboard and I never put any RCS blocks on it. So thank you. That is a complete and utter oversight. Anyway, that whole launch seemed to go okay. But you're right, I forgot RCS, so I'll have to go back and do that. That's a good orbit. Very happy with that. Okay, so you did a good job, little scripty. Okay. All right, let's terminate this. That I'm calling a success. Yeah, I must have got distracted and forgot entirely about RCS. Okay, let's RCS. Should have done it a long time ago. Here, let's delete this too. Okay, and take you off. Alright, so I'm going to use just the little thruster blocks. The little teeny light ones. So these guys, and there's the straighter ones and the angly ones. Let's use the angly ones. And I'm going to put them, 4 of them here, and then another 4 down low. And I'm going to place these guys so that they're kind of straightish, like going up and downish, if you know what I mean, like that. That should be okay. Do I have different textures for? Oh, just the different nozzle configurations. No, we'll leave them the way they are. That's good. Okay, and then we'll copy those. I think the small ones will be fine. And put another 4 down here. And I do have the RCS build aid installed, which is super duper handy. So we're looking at right translation, and I should, once I'm up there, I'll be losing a